What is behavioral economics, and what is its primary goal? This is a big question, and before I try to answer, let's get some background. Even if you've never heard of behavioral economics, chances are you already know what economics is. It might even be your major field of study in college. You may have heard that economics is the study of decision-making when resources are scarce, or the study of how goods and services are produced and consumed. Or as Adam Smith put it, an inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. But have you considered how economists go about studying these issues? For example, how do economists learn more about what happens to the total number of new Toyota Camrys sold in a month if the sticker price is reduced from $23,000 to $22,500? One answer is that economists develop economic concepts like demand and elasticity, and economic theories like monopolistic competition to answer questions like our Camry problem. A given concept or theory is tested by collecting data to see how well a model based on that theory can explain the observed data. Okay, so if theories are tested using models, that means modeling is pretty important to the science of economics. But here's the thing. A model, any economic model that you can think of, is based on a set of assumptions. Some say that a model is only as good as the assumptions that are put into it. So how do economists choose their set of assumptions? Well, most of the time, economic models are based on assumptions that are simple, practical, and seemingly obvious. And there's good reason for this. Economic models should be useful for explaining behavior. And if simple assumptions can be used to explain complex behavior, the model must be doing something right. The term neoclassical economics is a fancy way to refer to the modern approach of building mathematically rigorous economic theories from simple assumptions about how individuals behave. Not wanting to get too technical, let's say that neoclassical economics is largely built on the idea that people make well-informed, rational economic decisions. This is where behavioral economics comes in. Rather than assuming that people behave rationally in a cold and calculating sense, behavioral economists have the goal of discovering how people actually behave in economic situations in order to make models and their predictions more realistic. This is not to say that we should throw out the concept of rationality, but rather we should broaden the concept of rationality to include what we know from psychology about how our brains work. For example, while standard economics might assume that people care only about their own well-being, behavioral economics considers that some people enjoy helping others and may actually prefer to share what they have. While standard economics might assume that people can carefully consider every available option and choose whichever option is objectively the best, behavioral economics considers the fact that it might be too hard to think about all the options at once. And sometimes our brains need to take mental shortcuts just to get through the day without a headache. While standard economics might assume that people ignore information that does not seem to be relevant to a decision, behavioral economics considers that our decisions can be influenced by things without us even realizing it. Let's return to the question of how many Camrys will be sold when the sticker price drops from $23,000 to $22,500. Let's add the assumption that the actual average sale price for the Camry was $22,000 and that the dealer is not willing to lower this price. Behavioral economics suggests that fewer Camrys might be sold when the sticker price drops. Why? Standard economics would suggest that it is the sale price and not the sticker price that matters when purchasing a car. But because the prospect of buying a Camry at $22,000 is less attractive when it represents only a $500 discount below the sticker price instead of a $1,000 discount, a behavioral model may predict that fewer Camrys are sold. The bottom line is that even though the sticker price does not affect the intrinsic value of the car, our brains won't allow us to ignore it. In summary, Behavioral economics is the study of how psychological factors influence economic decision-making and how these factors can be incorporated into existing economic models. The goal of behavioral economics is therefore to improve economic analysis on its own terms so that better insights can be gained when observing the world we live in, and better policies can be suggested to improve the lives of those who live in it. Thanks for watching.